Hi, hello. Welcome back or welcome into my channel. Today, I'll be sharing the outline of the last short story or flashfic in my GrayBird collection. I've recorded this over a year ago and I'm only now coming around to edit it. I've had to re-record the audio though, since the old one was just not it. For this last story, I'd like to go back to the old vibe I went with for my very first videos, meaning no background music and some thunder and rain sounds. I do hope it'll be to your liking. Alrighty, so for this 10th story, I'd like to work with the theme of fear, extreme fear. Let us start with the overall information or guidelines for the story. And for once, I have my title before the outline itself. Let me note the word count as per usual. Then for the characters. For now, I'll only say that the gender of the main character doesn't matter while I figure out the rest of the details. Next, I'll work on the core or the summary. From the very first story in this collection, I've made it clear that this town is pretty much isolated from the rest of the world. Only a select few can travel in and out of its bounds. But why can these people specifically leave and come back as they wish remains a mystery for now. I've said before that there was only one way in and one way out of GrayBird, and while I haven't showcased why outsiders can't reach the town unscathed, I'd like to demonstrate or specify why GrayBird inhabitants can't leave. It's because of a phenomena called, I'll call it the curse of the welcome sign. It's not the official name of the curse, but it'll do for now. And this is where I tie in the theme of fear, as anybody that tries to leave is faced with their worst fears, like the worst of the worst, and the closer they walk towards the welcome sign, the more intense it gets. If they keep on pushing forward, they reach their limits. Some people reach their limits physically with a literal cardiac arrest, while others reach a state of complete despair, and most of them end up taking their own lives. This effect is triggered when people approach the welcome sign with the intent of leaving. They still have to face their fear if they walk towards it without that intent, but its effect is not as intense as it is when people try to leave. Okay, going back to the characters here. In the very first story, I'd introduced Charles, but also Leonard. These two serve as guardians at the entrance. Charles takes the day shift, and Leonard takes care of the night shift. So I'd like this story to feature Leonard. Moving on to the outline, as usual. I always start with the beginning, where I introduce the main character and what's special about them. After that is the part where I talk about the phenomena in question, and I want the story to take place at the entrance of town, so our character heads there. Then, going to the middle, the character reaches the entrance and makes contact with Leonard. I establish that the two of them already know each other. Leonard seems busy cleaning, as he was having a busy night, which isn't very good in his line of work. In the end, I'd like our character to move towards the welcome sign and experience the phenomena themselves. At the time when I recorded the outline, I had only two options or two endings in mind, but as I said before, these plans or outlines aren't set in stone. They're just here to offer guidance, not restrict me. So in the end, I came up with a third option. You can guess which one, I think. But in case you'd like to read the story for yourselves, that'll be great actually. You'll find the links in the description. Alrighty then. This is going to be it for this video. To be completely honest, this isn't a video I've been wanting to release. And I know I've said this for the previous two videos already, but since I'm not really an expert at editing, this video I'm working on is really taking a lot of my time to come together. But the good news is that I only have two sections to finish it. I do hope you've enjoyed this video as much as I enjoyed making it. I also hope to see you in the next one. But until then, take care of yourselves, stay safe, and bye bye.